Do you want to improve your musical fluency when you're reading music? One thing you can do is learn how chords invert. So the first thing I'll do is explain what a triad is, and then I'll explain the different inversions of a triad. So a triad is thirds stacked on top of each other. So the distance between these two notes is a third, and the distance between these two notes is a third. So there are three notes away from each other. We stack two thirds on top of each other, and we call that a triad. A triad has three pitches, and this is a C major triad because it's based on C. It has E and G. Okay, so that's a chord. That's a C major chord. We also call it a C major triad when it's stacked up just like this with thirds on top of each other. There are chords on every single pitch on the piano. So we can make a triad based on any note. We can build a chord on C. We can do it on D, E, F, G, A, E, and we can also build triads on the black notes like this. Like that. Okay, so a triad is three notes that are thirds apart, and it's just like the foundation of all music that's written in tonal harmony. So very, very useful. So first, understanding what chords are and what triads are will really help you understand the foundation of almost every song that you ever play, and most left-hand patterns are built on these triads. So the next thing to know, the next level up from understanding all the chords, is understanding inversions of that chord. So when it's in root position, it's stacked in thirds. But what if we take the C and we do a little cartwheel, let that chord flip on its head and move this C up to here. So we still have the E and G down here, and then we put the C on top. We call that first inversion. And now the intervals that we have are different. So we have an E and a G, which are a third apart, and then we have a G and a C, which are a fourth apart. It's still the same pitches of a triad, but it's in what's called first inversion because we've taken the bottom note and we've moved it up to the top. So that's the first inversion. We've turned it upside down on its head, okay? So root position, first inversion, and then if we take this E and we move it up to here, and we stack the chord on top of the G, G, C, and E, like that, that's called second inversion. So we have the G on the bottom, up a fourth to the C, and then up a third to the E. That's the second inversion. So if you know your chord inversions and you know what they look like in music, that's going to help you understand exactly how far apart to space your fingers very easily by sight. So we have root position, first inversion, second inversion. And we have those chords and inversions of those triads in every single key on the piano. So if you would like to be able to play music more fluently, learn your chords, all of the triads and their inversions for all of the notes on the piano. So we can do it in C major, we can do it in D major, D, F sharp, and A, and we stack those up in root position in thirds, D, F sharp, and A, and then if we take this D, we flip it up to the top, that's first inversion. If we take the F sharp and flip that up to the top, so it's built on the top note of the triad, the A, that's second inversion, okay? We can do it with E. So this is root position, first inversion, second inversion. Okay? I would recommend learning all of your chords with the triad in root position, first inversion, and second inversion with your left hand, because almost, I would say like 80 or 90% of the time, chords that are in these formats are going to be in the left hand. You do sometimes play them in the right hand, but start with learning it with your left hand and getting fluent with all 12 major keys, all of their triads and inversions with your left hand. Once you've done that, then yes, you will play them sometimes in your right hand, so you can practice them with your right hand too, but start as a left hand exercise. So then F major, G major, A major, B major, and once you've learned all of the white major triads with their inversions, you can do all of the black note triads with their inversions. So C sharp major, E flat major, F sharp major, A flat major, and B flat major. Now, I did that really, really fast as an overview. We can break it down. Okay, we can do this one at a time. Usually when I'm assigning this sort of thing to students, I would just do one key per week. So we would focus on the C major triad and inversions for a whole week. The next week we do the D major triads and inversions. So it would take like 3 or 4, 5 months to get through all 12 of these sets of triads and inversions, and you just sort of focus on one at a time and take them just a little bit by bit by bit. That's how I would break it up as a teacher, but depending on your level and how much you understand, you could do it a little bit faster. Anyway, learning your triads, your chords and their inversions is really, really going to help with your musical fluency. So give that a try and see how it helps. And the other thing, in addition to learning how to play them, is learning how to look at them. And so starting to get familiar with what they look like, with the third stacked on top of each other, and then the third with a fourth on top, and then a fourth with a third on top, and just knowing those and being able to recognize them visually for what they are.